back with part 2 of my epic Alice in Wonderland junk journal traveler's notebook tutorial put together thingy. And yeah, if you haven't watched the first one, you probably don't need to in order to watch this one. But if you would like to see how I put the actual Traveler's Notebook together, I do have a video for that. And yeah, you can go and check it out. I'll leave a link below. I could do one of those fancy things up in the top of the screen, but I haven't got around to working that out yet. So here I'm taking the printables that I got from the Etsy store, and I'm just randomly choosing spots to put them down. There really is not a lot of thought about it. In fact, most of the decorating that I do in this video is not gut, but not instinct either, just randomly doing it, not thinking too hard. There we go, because I don't like thinking so much. So yeah, I am super happy with how this little well, it's not so little, it's quite fat, this journal is coming along. And I did want to say that I did make a boo-boo, and you will see that the cover is quite shiny. What I did do is I put some contact, or it's actually, I think it's bookbinding tape. I covered it in bookbinding tape because I used just the papers that I had cut up, and so my cover is very flimsy, and I realized that that is an error. And so, and I'd already sewn it and everything, so I didn't really know how to solve that one. So I covered it in the bookbinding tape, and it's stiffened it a little bit. Not really, hasn't really solved the problem. I'll have to give it some thought and think how I'm going to make the covers a little bit stiffer, so that, you know, it doesn't feel so flimsy. But you know, that's another day's problem, and I'm not going to worry too much. So now I'm getting out, as you saw there, I put one of my envelopes on. The contents of what I'm using was taken from my stationery bento box and other stuff that I have in my stash. And yeah, if you didn't watch the first one, I do show you everything that I am using. So these stamps are gorgeous. They come from AliExpress, and they weren't that expensive. I have put they did come in the 2 tins. I kind of tried to put all of them in the 1 tin, but unfortunately they are a bit too big for that, so that's why I've got 2 tins, and it looks like only 1 stamp in the 1 tin. But anyway, that you didn't need to know at all. So yeah, but they stamp really nicely. I'm super impressed with them, and yeah, and it's fun to get the stamps on. So what I am doing is kind of grabbing anything that sort of appeals to me and seeing where I can put it in. And I'm trying to do as much, I'm trying to interactive elements. That's maybe what I'm trying to get as many interactive elements on here and use up the printables that I did, and just basically decorate it, you know, to make it look fun and inviting and make me want to write my little stories in it. And I don't really know. I mean, this is another long video, and I really don't know if I'm going to be able to talk to you, you know, for this long on what I'm doing, because you know, you don't need a blow by blow of what I'm doing. It's really simple. I'm taking envelopes and filling them with tags, and taking the lovely threads or fibers that came in that bento box and putting them in the tags, and, you know, taking the Alice images and putting them in. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I think I've said fun too many times. But I know what, I was watching somebody's video on YouTube. I can't remember who it was, but she has some great videos, and yeah, I cut these threads way too short, so that just didn't work out. So I decided to go with something else. That's a tip: don't cut your threads too short, because it makes it impossible to put them through the tags. But yeah, no, I was watching this video, and she was giving helpful hints on what to fill your journals with. And she said that, you know, that a lot of the fun is in the making of them. And I thought, yeah, it is, because I've been doing all sorts of things lately, and these were a huge disappointment. These are transfers that came, or rub-ons that came with the colouring in book that I used, and they're dreadful. You'll watch me rub, and they're just useless. So that's very unfortunate. I'm not going to be able to use them because they frustrate me too much, and I'm not going to spend. Life is too short to spend half of it rubbing and rubbing on. That's not going to come off nicely. So anyway, I'm going to put those away and not use them, or try and think of a way I can use them where I don't actually have to rub them onto something. So anyway, yeah, getting back to this video that I was watching, and I'm going to interrupt myself again because this little gadget is really quite nifty. I've mentioned it before. It's a little knife where the point that the knife blade only comes out very, very slightly, and so you can cut the top layer of something and it doesn't cut the layer below it, which I did there with that envelope. So yeah, really nifty little thing that. I like it. So getting back to what this girlie was saying about and all the things that you could fill up your journals with. And I really liked a lot of her ideas. She had some great ideas on, what topics or things you can do. But what struck me most was this whole idea of having, you have the fun making the journal, and then you wonder what to do with it after that. And I could identify with that because, yeah, I am having a tremendous amount of fun making all of these journals and these traveler's notebooks and, the little Disney golden books that everybody is doing, and they're just fantastic. And I don't often think, or I don't often have ideas of what to fill them with. And then I wondered, well, is it so bad that you enjoy making it because you're getting that creativity? And we all, or at least those of us that are in this world of journaling and scrapbooking and that, we all have a need to be creative. And yeah, I loved doing this. These are these little stickers that I got off AliExpress, and that's, the Cheshire Cat and Alice and everything, and I just thought it was quite cute putting it amongst those flowers there. But yeah, we have this need for a creative outlet, and I often feel guilty because I do these journals and books and things, and then they sit on my shelf and I don't do anything with them. But I've decided that that's okay. Even if I never fill half of them, the fact that I got the enjoyment out of making them, that's pretty good. And it allows me to take that creativity that I have in me and use it and get the enjoyment out of it. And I don't want any guilt anymore. I don't want any journaling guilt anymore. I think that's basically what I'm trying to say. I just want to be creative, and if I do write down some stories in this book, that's great, and if I don't, it's okay too, because I had a tremendous amount of fun making it. There we go. That was a bit of a ramble. And yeah, I mentioned in my previous video these stickers. They came off the Sticky Club website. They were some ones that were not part of a kit, and they are Alice themed because there's, eat me and drink me and all that, but they don't quite fit in, I think. I don't think they quite fit with the overall theme of everything I've got going on here, but I'm getting some of them on. And yeah, I'm concentrating on parts of the book, and this is something which I've picked up from Courtney's many videos she's got on her Patreon where she does her journaling. She flips from one part of her book to another. She doesn't sort of take the first page and journal on that and do stuff on that and then go on to the next page. She flips around in that entire book, and I like that idea because it does mean that I think maybe it's a boredom thing. I get bored very, very quickly. So this way, where I take some of these bits and I work on one little page, and then I go into the middle of the book and work on another part of the page, that means that I don't. What am I trying to say? There's no rigidity to it. There we go. I'm trying to fill up this video with deep thoughts and make it interesting to watch without giving you the blow by blow, because I just can't do it. I can't say, and here I'm stamping this little stamp onto this label that I'm going to use later, because you can see what I'm doing. So I'm not that type of person. But yeah, so carrying on. Now I've got again one of those stickers. It's the Cheshire Cat on a mushroom or a toadstool, but as you can see, I'm just not getting it to work well. And some of my smaller bits, when I sewed it together, they went a bit skew because the sewing. My gosh, the sewing was hard. I'm very proud of myself in that I did it. I managed to sew it together. Because there's a lot of pages, and to get them, to get that needle through them it's hard, let me tell you. And I sweated. It was a good workout, but some of them got a bit skewed, so that's why I took that envelope and decided to attach it there. And now I'm getting my little stamps going again. As I said, they really do stamp beautifully. Very, very chuffed with those, and I figured that needed to be glued down a lot harder than that daft Pritt stick was going to do. I really don't enjoy that Pritt stick. I must get another one. And I'm also trying to be as imaginative as I can in what sort of how I'm using the elements here. I'm trying to get tags on, and I probably should have done some sewing, but I haven't done that. And I keep watching all these videos and being heavily inspired by, because there are some really amazing girls out there that put these books together, and they do the most awesome things. And I think, wow, if I could just do half of that in a book, that would be good. But I'm a very linear thinker, so I tend to be very straight about things, and putting them in. But it's not going too badly. I'm getting some tags in there, and I think I need to make some pockets and do some more interactive elements, but I will do that in another session when I get going. And if you would like to see more of this, if you would like to see me carrying on doing these, please let me know, because I have no problem with recording what I'm doing. It's a voiceover that I battle with sometimes. But if it is something that you're enjoying, do let me know, and I'll show you more. Or if you're not and you're bored with me, then I can always do a share when I'm finished with it. But do let me know, because it's always nice to know, that I'm not just talking to myself here. That somebody is watching me. I do hope somebody's watching me. So here again, those papers are very, very thin. So I just took one of my diary pages and glued that on there, and that's some of my washi tapes. And I'm just seeing what else I can stick on there that might actually go quite well. And I'm coming to the end of this, so I'm going to bid you a fond farewell. And I know I've already said I do hope you enjoyed it, and I really do, because otherwise, well, what can I say? I hope you have a fantastic day, and let me know if you do this kind of putting together of travelers' notebooks and things, because I'd love to see them. And I'm getting a little hat. Try to put it on her head, but that didn't work, so I put it on her hand instead. So I'm going to say bye-bye and have a wonderful day, and we'll chat again soon sometime.